Good afternoon. How are you today?
So
Tim,
great.
we're
Thanks for
doing
having
great.
us.
Hopefully, it's the middle of a sunny day at least, because I know it's a busy day. You might not get to enjoy as much sunshine as we'd like, but in Chicago, it's raining a lot. So I'm okay being inside today.
Oh, well, I hate to hear that because it's so beautifully sunny out here today.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad it is. I'm happy for that because you guys deserve to have some sunshine amidst a busy schedule, busy life, and to take a moment to just really sip it slow, I guess. I guess if I can say that just right. We'll get back to that later. We'll let the
Segue.
audience wonder what that was about. Okay. So I just want to introduce sibling duo Juna and Joey. So happy to have you both here. They have a brand new single coming out on Friday, which is, as I just kind of mentioned briefly there, reference Sip It Slow. We'll talk about the meaning behind that. And lots of music in the past, lots of music coming out, millions of hits on in YouTube and subscribers. So much going on, so much going on, so many videos out there. They've been doing this for a while, so we're going to find out a little bit about that. So let me just ask, how old were the two of you when somehow you decide, oh, I really want to? This music is more than just strumming on the toy guitar that I got or the hitting the piano that's about 2 feet tall. When did it just change into something else?
Well, I started singing first, I guess, around the age of 3 or 4. I was inspired to get into music, I guess, from watching the movie The Little Rascals. I was obsessed with it and I would watch it every day on my way to school. Um, so I fell in love with the song Love by Frank Sinatra when
What a
Alfalfa and
coincidence.
Darla performed at the talent show. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I want to be just like Darla on stage and performing and singing. And so I learned the song and I performed it for my dad on our coffee table. And he was like, oh my gosh, he was crying. He's like, we need to get her lessons. This is so great. And so that's when I started taking classical piano and I started learning classical music.
I actually went to a school, like a Episcopalian school, and on certain days we would have, church,
Right.
and I would sometimes sing on the church days, and I was more into sports really, but one of our friends was like, "Hey, I think your son can sing," and I was like, "Really?" Like, and like that was like a question. But I was really into sports. I played baseball for 8 years, and
Oh,
then I eventually went to one of her lessons. She was more into music, and the teacher was like, "Do you sing?" And I was like, kind of not really. It's not something. So I went to the piano, played a couple chords. She's like, sing just a little bit. She's like, wow. She's like, you can sing. So then we did a couple recitals with the piano teacher. I finally joined with Juna, and then we eventually went to School of Rock. Did that for a couple years, learned a bunch of instruments, traveled a little bit. Then we broke off and did our own kind of rock band. We sang Led Zeppelin
wow.
and just all sorts of different,
Blondie and Heart.
just crazy
Oh, that's
songs.
so cool. I didn't know that. I was going to ask you about any rock music influences in the past or present, but you beat me to it. That's great. Okay, continue.
And
I'm
then
sorry.
eventually we broke off, and then we started doing country music, and we started writing music. And June and I both go to Berklee College of Music in Boston online, so that really got us to start writing. Really learn just
I'm the
how the
best.
how the music business is.
Very exciting. I mean, I like I said, I've worked around music my whole life. I'm not on that trajectory that the two of you are on. As far as, I mean, I am a songwriter, but very amateuristic, and I always thought I would move down to Nashville at some point, like you guys have ventured to do. But then I got old and I started a family. And so you're doing this now. This is good before you guys start your own families, and before you get into, you focus on this right now, enjoy it and let it, funnel in. I thought, oh, I'll get up in the morning on a Monday morning. I'll drive 8 hours to Nashville because, like I said, I'm in Chicago. And I'll just knock on some doors. Well, you know how that, you can't knock on doors. You got to have appointments and you got to, it's a whole thing. You can't devote one afternoon once a week to being down in Nashville. You can't. So, but it's neat to hear all the different things about the college, the online college, the rock band, the lessons from a young age, Darla, all the different things, all how it all led up to that. It's such a neat story. Um, so because I was going to ask, I'm assuming that growing up, both of you, well, maybe not so much Joey at first, because you were focusing on sports, but singing at the house, I remember my sister and I would just always be doing showcases for the family, and the spaghetti stick would be a conductor's baton and, all sorts of things, just crazy. But some of that maybe leaning more towards Juna and then Joey kind of just jumping in every once in a while and until you got the music bug yourself, of course.
Yeah, we would have piano lessons and singing lessons like pretty often. And then when we started the rock band, we would always have practices at the house, and my mom would put out some snacks, and we'd have the band over, and we just play like all night. We played with some guys that played a lot in South Florida because that's where we're originally from South Florida. So we had some musicians come in, and we had like a mentor at the time who was really into the music scene, and he was a bass player in our band, and he had like all his like old time rocker friends, like guitar
Right.
drummer, and they would all come and hang out with us. And we were like, I think 13 and like 10
13,
or
16,
something.
yeah.
And so like they really influenced us and like drilled it into our brains at a young age, like to just be on stage and not have stage fright and to put yourself out there and have a good time and really learn like about the
It
music
was
and being
definitely
on
a
stage.
good introduction and
Like
gave
time
us,
period, yeah.
yeah.
For
Yeah,
them to like really instill their knowledge into us.
that's great. If you had to, if you were playing a lot of covers at that point, covering a lot of rock, and I know lately, in the last past several years, a lot of country covers, duets, and all sorts of things, and then your own music, and now you're doing a lot of your own songwriting, which is fantastic. Um, if you had to form a cover band because you had to, of one band, what band right in the rock and roll world would you possibly consider covering first? As far as like, what band would it be that you had the costumes, the sound, that one band?
I'd probably say Fleetwood Mac. I
Oh,
just love like their style and their vibe and their harmonies and their music together. That's something that's really like inspiring to me. And I just think they overall have such a unique and great sound. Like they're such a strong, group. It's like amazing.
I like
agreed.
I like the Blue Oyster Cult. They have
Okay,
some.
yeah, you guys have both have good choices. This is exciting. Yeah,
My dad likes them too,
Yeah,
so
he
he
rocks
loves
out
rock.
all the time, like in the car. And we have a Juna and Joey van, and our
neat.
uncle owns a sign business, so he wrapped it for us with our faces on it. And he's always in the van, like cranking the music, no matter what time it is.
Yeah,
We'll be
well,
like on our way to the airport at like 5 in the morning, and he's
on
got
the way to the
like,
airport, we'll be on the way to Nashville, driving
oh
13
yeah,
hours. He's got Billy Joe. We didn't
didn't start
start the
the
fire. I
fire.
mean, over and over, and
And
I'm
the
like,
CD,
I'm
it
like
just
that.
plays on a loop, and he doesn't realize. And we're like, Dad, we've heard the song like I think 6 times now.
Not a lot of people know all those lyrics, but I'm sure you guys do. All the different parts of that song. I'm sure every lyric. That's
Oh
a hard
yeah,
to learn the lyrics part, but you guys have got it down. I'm sure at this point,
got it
right?
down, Pat.
That part we
Exactly.
definitely do.
um, that's neat. Yeah, Blue Oyster Cult. Is there a cowbell? Do I see a cowbell in the back there anywhere? A cowbell for the Blue Oyster Cult? If you had to sing, there's the famous Blue Oyster Cult skit in Saturday Night Live. Always the cowbell. More cowbell. More cowbell. You know. Oh, I hear it. I hear it. Yeah, he does have one there. Great. And then, yeah, and Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, both bands. I could see that. Think about combining the two of them. What could you call that? Yeah,
Yeah, probably like the blue Fleetwood Colt.
Yeah. Oh, something could be. Could be. Yeah,
Just
could be.
combine the names.
Just combining the names.
But they couldn't say because I see a lot of, I work in a theater, a lot of national artists come through, but also a lot of cover bands. And it's interesting how sometimes they, change a letter and it's okay. Change one letter and the whole name. And I'm like, it sounds out still phonetically the same. Okay. But, you know. So talk about the songwriting process maybe a little bit with the two of you writing songs. I believe you both play piano and guitar
Yes.
and probably other instruments because Joey said, studying abroad for a couple of years, learned lots of instruments. I'm curious what those lots of other instruments might be.
Yeah, I picked up the sax for a little bit,
Cool.
He plays
but
electric guitar
the
also.
electric and acoustic are like my
Yeah,
main
I
thing.
dabbled in the violin at one point, but it's just tough to nail
It is
that
tough.
down. It's a hard instrument. But I'm trying to get back into it and pick it up again because like in the future I would really love to not even master it, but just be able to play it. So I'm getting there.
Good. So with the two main instruments, piano and guitars, how does the songwriting process start lyrically and musically for the two of you?
Usually we start off with like, chord progression. We'll have the 1 4 5, the 1 6 4 5, or the 1 4 5. And then we'll eventually start like just coming up with a we have like a hook book where we have like a bunch of ideas of random titles, and we'll just pick one of those, and then we'll brainstorm and find the verse or the chorus first, and then we'll head on to the bridge, and then it'll take us about 3 or 4 hours to finish the song, and then
Yeah.
we'll put it up in our dock, and hopefully it's a hit.
It
Wow.
depends on who the writer, like who we're writing with. It's kind of like a little bit different every time. But like you said, normally it'll just start with Joey like coming up with like a little like loop or like a riff on the guitar, and
Yeah.
then we kind of just build from there with some cool melodies. We like to start usually with the chorus, mainly, but like I said, it just depends on who we're writing with and the vibe of the song.
Sometimes we just like have different like it's like different ice creams. Like each writer is like an ice cream. It's like vanilla or like it's like I don't know how to explain it,
Okay.
but like everybody's different. Everybody has a different
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah.
So it's like which one do you go to?
Yeah.
It's like they're all good, but like
But
which
they're
one?
just all different.
Yeah.
I definitely like relating things to food. There's no problem there. I might like kind of relate it to like pizza ingredients or something. I don't know because in Chicago pizza is just so important to us. So
Sure. It's like
Exactly.
like this kind of like yeah,
it's like you need the flour and then you need the icing and then you
Yep.
need the
exactly. And I was also thinking maybe there's hope for me because I do that songbook too. I've stopped for a while, but for about 2 or 3 years, every day I'd write down four random song titles, just looking at my surroundings, and I would write songs off that. So maybe there's a little hope for me yet. Maybe I can have a local Chicagoland western suburbs past all the corn stalks, kind of hit or something. Maybe
You
people
never know.
nice.
You
You
never
never know.
see.
You never know. Um, but no, that's neat. I did that too with the four songs or five songs, and you just pick one randomly and say, "Oh, let's write on this." That's really neat. So, is there someone in the world of music that really inspires the two? You might have different answers, of course, because you're different. You have different places where you're coming to music from. That really inspires you, or someone that you kind of think like, "Oh, it'd be neat if we can sit in a song circle with them, or if we need, we can co-write something with them, or perform with them."
I would probably say Hardy or Dan and Shay. More like modern country, those would probably be my top two picks, just because Dan and Shay, they have such like a great blend and their songs are so catchy and they're so fun to listen to. And Hardy is just like an incredible writer. I mean, he writes like some deep story songs, and that'd be so interesting to like, see how he writes. Like it's always fascinating to see how different writers have their process, and like he writes so many great songs, like it must just like flow out of him. Like I want to just see it in action, and be a
Sure.
part of
Yeah.
older country. I'd say like Zach Top. Like I really like
it, like
dabbling into
traditional.
like Zach Top. He's like so good. He's got he's got a style. Like
Yeah.
when he sings, it's him. Okay. And then Morgan Wallen, I really love his like style of music. His melodies are very catchy, and just the way that just the way he sings. He's got like a distinct voice, and he started off in The Voice too. Like I like watched him grow, and it's like made me realize how hard it is, like, and how dedicated you have to be to like find your style and really dabble into the music that you like. And he's like kind of like he's like my dream kind of thing. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I think sometimes people don't realize how difficult it is, and you guys have sacrificed, I'm sure, a lot of the growing up years to do this and balance school and balance, family life, being with with your parents and friends. Because I see there's tons of videos you guys have done, and what I really like about the videos that I see on like YouTube and other places, you always look like you're having a lot of fun and almost like to point like almost like giddy, where like someone's trying to keep a straight face because here we are singing this song, and I could just I wish I was at like behind the scenes watching one of these videos because you guys are so funny sometimes how you really look like you're having fun and hard to get. Okay, now I gotta be serious singing a serious song, and then it comes the camera pans to one of you, and it just is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're always having a great time. It's hard to keep a smile off our face, so.
If you get into a family argument, is it about like who's going to do the dishes? Back in the day, now you guys are so busy, I don't know if dishes get done, right? Because you guys have to beg the rest of the family to help out here. But about regular daily life with the family, or is it about a song or about a style or about doing a show or not doing a show? What?
Oh no, the dishes still have to be done. Our parents
Okay.
are still like,
It's 50-50
them
on the
dishes better be
dishes.
done, your room's better be clean. You
I
know,
mean, like
they
we're
definitely
pretty
hold us
good.
accountable for
We're
sure.
pretty good like 99% of the time. It's just
Yeah.
like that 1% we just want to like rip each other's heads off. But
That only happens once in a while, 1%,
Yeah.
like you said, just once in a while.
Oh yeah. I feel like if it comes to that, it's mainly due to like writing and like our creative differences get in the way a little bit, but it's for
yeah, in the
the
way.
better of the song, right?
That's good, but that's good. It's a little
Yeah,
bit of mixing it up a little bit, talking it through, arguing it through, and getting to a
hmm
softer discussion into an
yeah,
agreement. I'm just sure it evolves over time, and finally,
exactly.
so nothing wrong with that, right? Um, let's talk about the single a little bit. Let's talk. So, Sip It Slow, coming out on Friday,
Yep.
and it's a really great song. Listening to it and the melody, of course, you guys write great melodies, and it's very enjoyable to listen to the songs and listen to the lyrics and understand where it's coming from. But I want you to tell us a little bit about it, both of you, to tell us a little bit about the song.
It's like just like your super fun, like upbeat, like chill summer song. And it's kind of like it comes from the perspective of two coworkers, they're at the job and they're seeing each other every day, like when they're on shifts and different things, but they always have like this like underlying connection, but they don't ever take it anywhere. And then, they go out for drinks one night at the bar and then, they have a couple too many, and then the feelings are all out on the table, and they kind of just want to explore this new connection that they have, but take it slow and do it the right way, not rush into anything and like have it burn out quicker than it started, kind of thing.
Joey, anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean basically, yeah, it's like you don't want to take things too fast. Some relationships you want to take things slow. And
Yeah.
so if you're drinking a lot and then like you're forgetting, when you drink a lot, you forget what happened. So you want to take it slow
In
and
other
and let
words,
it hit you, and then you know drink some water and sober up.
like a popular term that they say now is called love bombing. So yes,
Mhm.
this is the opposite. You don't want to love bomb them. You want to take it slow and do things smoothly.
Then it's like sip it slow. Let's not go down like a shot of whiskey.
Right.
Yeah, I like that line. I like that line. No, it's always neat to hear the story behind the song, and that it's got a couple levels to it. The level of course, it sounds like it's a song about beverages, Pepsi, of course. I mean, we're just talking Pepsi or
Yeah,
Coca-Cola,
yeah.
but
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But no, but to hear that it's obviously a song about drinking, but then that there's a layer behind that that's a little
Yeah.
deeper. It's always fun to talk to the people who write songs and find out what the deeper meaning is. So
Yeah,
really
there's
neat.
that little hidden layer.
Yeah. So, are there plans? I mean, I've noticed that you've been releasing a lot of, independent, and I see this a lot with country singers, especially releasing individual singles that aren't necessarily tied to a full length or an EP because, the industry has kind of changed a little bit. That
Yeah.
people are, and there's so many artists to listen to, you have to almost be in the face of the listener or the ear at least, many, a lot because it's like, what have you done lately kind of thing, I think is what I feel is happening. And so you
Yeah.
guys are releasing them, many country singers are releasing singles every so often to stay in the ear of the listener.
I feel like songs don't get their full amount of like glory and appreciation sometimes when you release albums, especially as like a smaller artist. So I feel like you said, just constantly being in their ear or being in their eye with a new single coming out rather than
Yeah.
just dropping them all at one time is a great way to like keep your audience connected and following up with you. So that's kind of our strategy that we've been working with, to just release them one at a time and really like extract the greatness of them.
Yeah, we want to just like waterfall them once every three
Yeah.
to four weeks. Keep putting the music out because if you
Yeah.
don't, then you lose that little,
Like
that
momentum
little
that you have.
momentum. And obviously, music videos are important, but nowadays I feel like music videos aren't as like, you know, important, but like you still want to release them once in a while just to give them a little visual instead of just audio.
I feel like, yeah, it depends on the song.
Yeah.
Like something that's a little bit deeper or meaningful, like it's great to put a visual story
Some songs need it,
behind the
some songs
song.
don't.
Yeah, but
Right.
other songs are just kind of like chill and fun, and songs that kind of are self-explanatory. I feel like in a way don't necessarily need a music video. Of course, they're so fun to film, but yeah, like it just depends on the
Yeah,
song,
it's
I feel
like
like.
big thing on TikTok. Like people just like release little 7-second clips of
Yeah.
their videos, and
Mini
then
music videos, you
it's a
could
mini
say.
music video. It's MMV.
It'd be a lot easier to do a 7 second video than to spend a day filming a full 3 minute video and have to go to multiple locations and sing the same lyrics again and again and again and again, or mouth lip sync them,
Yeah.
Um, and then some lend themselves like this sip it slow might not lend itself because if you're like out in the beach and you're holding on to you're out there, water skiing and you have a beverage in one hand, you're trying to talk to somebody, kind of, some of them just don't lend themselves to that.
Yeah,
So,
like,
That's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
so yeah, but I just I notice it with a lot of country singers now, a lot of songwriters, release. I mean, I'm sure it happens in the rock world too, but I see a lot more in the world of country. But just keep because there's so much out there. Release a single, and the occasional video, like you said, Joey too. The occasional video is important too because it keeps them. It just to put anytime, like if you talk to somebody on a phone, you
Yeah.
want to see what they look like, and let's say you're doing a business deal with somebody. Let's say you're talking to a record company or you're talking to a new manager, a new whatever, new artist for an album cover or something, or a thumbnail cover in this world, whatever it is, and you talk to them and it's a pretty good rapport, but you're curious as to you always can connect when you see them in person, connect more of more rapport when you see them in person. Same thing with a video. You say, oh, that's what they look like.
Yeah. It's
So,
about body language, and you can say things with your eyes without saying anything at all.
right. And that's why we get lost in the world of text, right? Because someone can say something that
Uh-huh.
can sound like they mean something completely
Oh, yeah.
different, and no punctuation or this or that or yeah.
That's happened many times before. I've experienced that in my life where things
Yes,
don't translate
for
correctly.
sure. I want to be sensitive to your time. I know you've got a busy afternoon here, so I just want to ask both of you, like, where do you think the best place would be for people to really? You seem very active on the internet with lots of different social media, but where do you find yourselves kind of hanging out a little more, or writing more, keeping more posts and pictures and whatever?
I would probably say TikTok and Instagram are our most vibrant platforms. We aren't as on YouTube as we were in the past. We put like our audios up there and sometimes some lyric videos and things like that. But I think TikTok and Instagram for sure.
In
Okay.
reels, like reels from
Yeah.
Yeah, and
TikTok.
reels, right? Sure, sure. Um, and just a quick reality check too that for the two of you to stop and sip it slow. Think about this: 10 million, over 10 million views and hits, and you think about that. You grew up in a town in Florida. You're now in Nashville. 10 million people have had a chance to interact with your music.
I
It's
know.
kind of
It's
crazy.
very crazy. Like it seems so surreal. Like I love those videos too when you see like, what a stadium looks like of 100 people and 200,000.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
it keeps getting bigger and bigger and you're like, "Whoa, that's that many people?" Like because it doesn't translate online obviously because when you have say you get like a million views, you don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just see
Like
a
when
number.
you just see a number, you don't see people. So when
Exactly.
puts that into perspective, it's really crazy to see. I
Yeah, I mean,
can't.
it could become very just like, oh, we got 10 million, because it's all about numbers sometimes for different people,
Yeah.
right? For different people around, you say, oh, I get to 11 million now, you got 10, now 11, so it sometimes can become just, but when you think about that, 10 million people, and you talk about the stadium thing, and that's about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, multiply that by, to get to 10 million, oh my goodness.
So
So,
crazy.
so
Really.
you guys have been wonderful to talk to, and I really wish you all the best of success as you put yet another single out and more music behind that. Any tour plans?
Yes, actually, we have a show in Tennessee on the 15th at the Tennessee State Fair. So we're really excited about that. And we have a residency at Tiki 52 in Jupiter in Florida. So we play there regularly. And we are playing a Jimmy Van Zant, Leonard Skinner charity
Hey,
event
oh,
in September,
Yeah, Aunt Jane's birthday. So we're
their aunt
celebrating.
birthday.
We're singing a couple songs with them, and we're driving out to Jacksonville. So it's
Yeah,
gonna be
and it's
good.
also their whiskey release party. They're like releasing a whiskey brand, so that's gonna be really fun. So we're excited about that, and just staying in Nash and writing and doing all the things that us artists do.
very exciting, and I'm very excited for both of you to as you on this journey. Who knows what happens next? Who knows? It just keeps growing and growing, and I really, hope to watch from the sidelines and see some great things happen. It is already happening now. So
Well, thank you so
Thank you so
much. We
much.
appreciate that.
thank you. And future audience, make sure you check out Sip It Slow coming out wherever you hear music on Friday, wherever you go to look for music. Check it out. Listen to it a few times. Sip it slow. Let it pour in.
Yeah.
Let it
That's fine.
ferment.
Like a few hundred, like just keep it on a loop. Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. So, thank you so much for your time today, Juna and Joey.
Of course. Thank you so much.